CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeremy Thompson.
Our government felt it was necessary to bring in this new tool that will prevent abuses in the future.
Tonight on CTV News, a new code of conduct is on the way for city and town councils, why some local leaders say they have more pressing matters for the province to address. Good evening. New provincial legislation targets bad behaviour from city councils. The Municipal Affairs Minister presented proposed changes today at a conference for Alberta's cities and towns. As CTV's Connor Hogg tells us, the legislation is welcome, but it's not the only issue councils need to tackle.
At a gathering of Alberta's municipal leaders in Edmonton, the UCP revealed changes to the province's Municipal Government Act.
Our government felt it was necessary to bring in this new tool that will prevent abuses in the future.
Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams says the new rules will create guidelines and impartial third-party investigators to discipline local leaders who don't act with integrity and professionalism. This comes after problems on councils in several cities and towns. Williams won't say if these changes would have helped in those situations. He does say the rules won't be weaponized in the way some in his government have characterized the public's use of its Recall Act this year.
We want to see appeals and these sorts of complaints made and only escalated when it's substantive, not when it's a continuation of a difference of political opinion.
NDP leader Naheed Nenshi likes the idea of consequences for councillors who misbehave, as long as municipalities are involved.
There do have to be consequences, but these have to be ones that are negotiated and arranged with the municipalities.
We are in a really complex environment these days where there are very real challenges that Albertans are facing in terms of affordability, sometimes around safety. At the same time, there's real opportunity in this province.
Municipalities are also facing other challenges. Leaders raised property tax increases, costs of the provincial police funding model, running elections without electronic tabulators, as well as the financial viability of some municipalities that are struggling.
I appreciate that municipalities are challenged right now. So are we as a province. That's the nature of the fiscal situation we're in. I want to be there as a province, but I will not hide from the conversation around viability.
Williams says proposed councillor conduct amendments will be tabled soon and that municipalities will be part of conversations determining what actions will be worthy of sanctions. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta is doing its part to remove interprovincial trade barriers in the face of a strained relationship with the United States. New legislation introduced today aims to make good on an agreement all provinces and territories signed with Ottawa last year. The Interprovincial Trade Mutual Recognition Act will allow provinces to recognize each other's regulations on most goods, avoiding duplicate inspections and other requirements. The agreement does not apply to alcohol, cannabis, food, livestock, tobacco, or plants. The province believes industries like oil and gas, logging, and fertilizer production will benefit the most. Trade Minister Joseph Scow says simplifying the rules will make it easier for businesses of all types to access new markets across Canada.
There are different rules for each of those provinces, and that is so confusing and very difficult to navigate that some businesses will just throw their hands up and say, what's the point? We'll just stick to Alberta, stick to the market we know. This is creating a level playing field across Canada.
Provinces can maintain their own restrictions on goods involving health and safety. Alberta will keep its own rules in place for products including pesticides, plumbing equipment, and gift cards, which cannot expire in our province. The Free Trade Pact starts June 30th. Alberta's opposition NDP leader is accusing the UCP government of trying to change electoral boundaries to benefit its party. In its final report, the majority of the Electoral Boundaries Commission recommended 1 new seat in the legislature for Edmonton and 2 for Calgary. The additions come mostly at the expense of less populated rural areas. The report also contains a minority opinion. It similarly recommended more seats in Edmonton and Calgary. It also suggested more than a dozen new hybrid ridings to bring rural and urban voters together.
They wanted to gerrymander. They take all of their cues from the Trump Republicans in the U.S., and they wanted to be like Texas. And that minority report, it must be said, was written by the 2 UCP appointees to this commission. They thought they had the majority on the commission. As it turns out, the majority report was not this gerrymandering, and it's nuts.
The commission chair calls the minority report unconstitutional and is questioning the motivation. The Legislative Assembly has the power to implement the majority report in full or with amendments. A former Alberta Premier, Jason Kenney, is getting ready to debate Alberta separatism. Kenney and pro-separatist Keith Wilson will go head-to-head in 2 debates in May, one in Edmonton and one in Calgary. Kenney has been an outspoken critic of Alberta's separatist movement. Wilson is a St. Albert lawyer who is in favour of Alberta separating from the Confederation. A petition on Alberta separation was launched in January. Organizers have until May 2nd to gather nearly 178,000 signatures to push the issue forward. One CTV political analyst is commending Kenney for agreeing to do the debate.
I actually think what Jason Kenney's doing is quite admirable, because he is putting his name, his reputation, his history as a successful political leader on the line, where everybody's going to assume that he's going to wipe the walls with this other guy. And yet he's doing it, I believe, because he passionately believes in the cause.
CTV News reached out to Kenney and Wilson for comment. Kenney declined our request. Well, the federal public safety minister's office says a bill brought forward by 2 local MPs would have undermined the independence of the Parole board. Brian's bill was named for Edmonton's Brian Ilisic. He was killed by his co-worker while refilling a bank machine at the U of A's Hub Mall. The bill would have amended the Federal Corrections Act, so convicted murderers cannot apply for a parole review. MP Carrie Diot argued this would save victims' families like the Ilisics from repeated trauma. The bill was defeated yesterday. The public safety minister's office says the bill would have raised serious concerns about potential charter rights violations. The parole board, is obligated to stay free of political influence. Well, dozens of people work behind the scenes when the province responds to natural disasters. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on how the Emergency Coordination Centre operates.
Staff at the Provincial Emergency Coordination Centre are preparing for whatever disaster Mother Nature throws their way.
We practice those unique situations, so we're nimble and agile and ready to respond.
Alberta, unfortunately, somewhat has been privy to some of the worst natural disasters this country has ever seen.
Staffed 24/7, the Alberta Emergency Management Agency has responded to everything from floods to tornadoes, and more commonly,
recent history has made us, unfortunately, I guess, pretty good at dealing with wildfires.
That includes the record-breaking 2023 wildfires and the 2024 Jasper wildfires that destroyed a third of the town. Climate change has sparked more frequent and intense disasters.
We've pivoted over the recent years to an ability to manage numerous events at the same time, concurrently.
This simulated exercise tests the coordination between government agencies.
We could get a call from Environment Climate Change Canada with some severe weather that's coming. A community could reach out to their field officer. Steve Lacroix with the Alberta Emergency Management Agency says the centre mimics a beehive with people from every provincial ministry here to help.
It's great to have this wider team that can look at the problem from their own perspectives and bring in potential solutions to problems that we didn't know.
Lacroix says preparedness is key, not just for the agency, but for you. The province says only 20% of people have a household emergency plan.
Each individual should know their risks, where they live. In a perfect world, they would have an emergency kit available. They would know where they would go should something happen.
That way, your family and pets can be ready if something happens. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Icefields Parkway between Lake Louise and Saskatchewan Crossing has reopened. On Saturday, while Parks Canada was doing avalanche control, an avalanche sent snow onto the road. It covered a 250-meter stretch, and in places it was up to 6 meters deep. Crews have been working all week to clear the snow. The highway reopened this afternoon. It is single-lane alternating traffic near the slide. There is also a no-stopping zone along that stretch. Well, a new derelict tax subclass could soon raise property taxes on commercial and industrial properties that have fallen into disrepair. City Council's executive committee heard from people who live and work in the Alberta Avenue neighborhood about the dangers neglected properties can have. They say the buildings hurt nearby businesses and come with safety and fire risks. A derelict tax subclass on the residential side already allows the city to charge property owners up to 3 times the normal property tax rate. rate. The financial pressure can motivate a sale or renovations. The city's assessor says adding a non-residential subclass would build on that successful program.
We have got a lot of interest and excitement from jurisdictions, both local and international, seeing the implementation of this subclass as a real success. It hasn't been without its challenges.
The city is in the process of updating its taxation and assessment software. It says the non-residential derelict designation could be implemented by 2030. Staff are also exploring options to address vacant properties of all kinds. Well, Alberta home builders are getting creative to encourage people to take the leap into home ownership. One is offering to cover mortgage payments for a year. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has more on what this may indicate about our housing market.
Edmonton has seen back-to-back years of record home builds. While construction has been full steam, sales are starting to slow.
Well, we have seen a shift in our market. So our inventory levels right now are about 30% higher than we were last year. And the last time that I checked, about 30% of our current listings on MLS right now are new builds.
The change is prompting some home builders to offer new incentives. Mattamy Homes says it will cover the first 12 months of mortgage payments up to $4,100 a month for buying with it in certain neighborhoods.
And I think initiatives like the mortgage incentive idea is really a pragmatic way for us to help people overcome whatever concerns there are that's stopping them from getting off the fence.
Everything you can think of and need is included.
Jamin Homes is another builder trying to entice buyers. It recently upped the included features for its homes, adding a washer and dryer, front landscaping, and blinds.
This is a normalizing market. So it's a shift from what was a seller's market last year to now a balanced market. We're not at a buyer's market yet.
And the Realtors Association of Edmonton doesn't believe it will shift to that, at least this year. It points to Edmonton's relative affordability for homes and continuing interprovincial migration.
The slower paced market is actually great for buyers because it gives them a little more time to think, to choose, to do their due diligence, make sure they're doing home inspections, which last year we saw a lot of people skipping that because you're competing in multiple offers.
Meaning builders, sellers, and the like may have to adapt and find new ways to gain business. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The value of recreational properties is expected to go up in Alberta this year. A report from Royal LePage shows recreational homes in the province will rise 2.5% this year. Last year, the median price of an Alberta recreational property was $860,000. Royal LePage says the Buy Canadian movement is affecting the recreational property market, with many Canadians planning to sell their properties in the United States. Well, two Edmonton couples say planning their dream day turned into a nightmare because of their wedding planner. Both couples are now suing her and her company. CTV's Nair Manisa has their story and their warning to other couples.
We haven't 100% picked, but we are going for these two.
Cassia Shar and Troy Murphy are in the middle of wedding planning, picking their color scheme and filing a lawsuit.
It's off to a different start than we had planned. I don't think anybody wants to come into the new year dealing with a lawsuit.
The couple is getting married in November. Last August, they hired Loveneet Tobin, a wedding planner who owns Simply Perfect Events.
As part of our signed contract, she requested a credit card to have on file, which I thought was a little bit unorthodox.
They say the first red flag was when they were charged for a DJ they didn't hire. They say Tobin said it was a mistake and that she would refund them. The couple says she paid back less than half. They then got a receipt from Tobin for the venue's deposit. However,
the venue contacted us and just followed up. Hey, are you still wanting to book? We still have your date saved, but we haven't heard anything from you. And so then, of course, we were very concerned because we sent close to $3,000.
The situation came to a head when a handful of vendors told the couple they would not work with Tobin. That's when they heard from other couples, also unhappy with the wedding planner.
I don't want people's wedding day to turn out like mine. I spent 2 hours at my head table bawling my eyes out.
Sam Machado and Cole Hopper were married last October. They hired Tobin to plan it. They say their deposits never made it to their DJ or caterer, and the decorations they decided on were not what was on display.
Just a whole bunch more excuses of like something in her family or something she's going through or
sickness
and car problems, or she had every excuse in the book.
CTV News reached out to Tobin both in person and over the phone.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
In a text message, Tobin declined CTV's request for an interview. She also denied the allegations. She says Simply Perfect Events has been shut down. Both couples are now suing Tobin for thousands of dollars they say they are owed. One couple has filed a police report. We spoke to RCMP about filing a police report on situations such as these, and it says that a breach of contract investigation is more complex. Basically, if a business failed or performed its services poorly, that's more of a civil case. Now, if it aimed to deceive or take money, that is a criminal case.
We kind of are wanting to just kind of warn people in general, like when you are planning a wedding, don't give your credit card information to people.
They hope by sharing their experience, it serves as a warning to other couples on their way to a happily ever after ending. Naramnisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
When we come back, Blue Jays fever from the World Series sends interest in minor baseball out of the park, leading parents to strike out searching for a team.
I was shocked because I know in years past, they've sometimes struggled to get enough teams, and now completely full.
Good evening, folks. Sunshine felt nice this afternoon, but temperatures stayed well below average, -8 for a daytime high. Should get back above zero tomorrow, but it's a one-off. Cooler air and some more snow in the forecast for the weekend. All those details in just a few minutes.
With minor baseball season only weeks away, some players are struggling to find a team close to home. Local registration numbers have skyrocketed after the Blue Jays' trip to the World Series. As CTV's Evan Kenny reports, it's a home run for the sport, but a swing and a miss for those still searching for an opening.
Snow sucks. I know it's March. It's still happening.
In Alberta, it may look like the middle of winter, but elsewhere, the boys of summer are back. And soon, local players will meet at ball diamonds around our region.
I think the Jays, of course, helps getting people more excited about baseball.
Jess Jackson with 100.3 The Bear knows how excited people are to play. She tried to sign her son up, but the local team was already full before the registration period even ended.
I remember when you guys were talking about the fact that it was going to be more interest because of how the Blue Jays were doing, but I didn't think it would be this much.
St. Albert minor baseball tells me its U7 and U9 divisions are completely full, and it had to put people like the Jackson family on a wait list.
I was shocked because I know in years past, they've sometimes struggled to get enough teams, and now completely full.
Other people in Edmonton's baseball world aren't shocked. The Edmonton Riverhawks have watched excitement around the game grow over its 5 years.
Year one, we had maybe 60,000 fans come through the doors for the whole summer, and last season we had 150,000. So that's a pretty incredible growth.
In the last 3-4 years too, just the level of players that we have going down to the States and playing college baseball, JUCO, NCAA, the guys that we have on our roster that are locally from Edmonton or Alberta area, those are the ones that are really cool stories to watch.
For future Riverhawks or even Blue Jays looking to play this year, most minor baseball associations are still accepting players until April 1st. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A Hollywood actor will be in Red Deer this weekend. Matthew Lillard will be promoting his own whiskey at the Alberta Food and Beverage Expo.
He is coming, and this is really cool. I mean, I think Scream 7 is still in the movie theaters right now, and he's going to be at Western Park on Saturday. He's doing a private tasting, and then he'll be on the showroom floor.
Aside from Scream, Lillard has starred in Scooby-Doo, Hackers, and She's All That. He'll be one of the more than 120 restaurants and vendors serving up the latest in food and drink. Organizers say last year's show saw record attendance, and it's a great way for businesses to connect with customers.
It's liquid to lips, product to lips, meeting your customers face to face. You can't get better marketing than that. And if you're tackling the show the right way, we've had restaurants that have given us letters saying that we saved their business.
The Expo runs Saturday from 4 to 10 p.m. Tickets can be found on the Alberta Food and Beverage Expo's website. Proceeds from this year's show will be donated to Tour Alberta for Cancer. The Edmonton Oil Kings say they're ready for round 1 of the WHL playoffs. The team was practicing today ahead of Game 1 against the Saskatoon Blades tomorrow. The Oil Kings finished 3rd in the Eastern Conference, while Saskatoon was 6th. The Oil Kings hope starting the series on home ice will give them an advantage.
No building's quite like Rogers, so being able to play there in front of the hometown crowd, it's a huge advantage.
Obviously, I think the atmosphere is going to be great. I think our players are excited about the way the crowds have continued to grow and get bigger and bigger, and it's a great opportunity with the series starting at home to build momentum and move forward.
Game 1 starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. Game 2 is Sunday at 2. A beloved Central Alberta tourist attraction has received a clean bill of health. An engineering report on Tyra the Tyrannosaurus says the Drumheller attraction is safe, stable, and ready to welcome visitors. The report says some repairs are needed with an estimated cost of about $154,000. Ongoing maintenance costs will also be needed. The Drumheller Chamber of Commerce was going to dismantle the dino in 2029. Public outcry led to the structural assessment. Chamber says it welcomes funded proposals about how to protect Tyra from extinction beyond 2029. Well, after the break, getting a head start on spring, the Home and Garden Show takes over the Expo Centre, offering up new products, pickleball lessons, and stiff competition.
We have our Backyard Wars, where we have 3 different landscaping companies competing head-to-head to see who can produce the best backyard.
Friday on your morning, a third of Canada's jobs are blue collar, and many of us would struggle to jump in. A comedian tries his hand at several. We'll ask him how it went and which gave him the most grief. We'll see you at 6.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. Temperatures around average this morning, minus 15, but look at your daytime high today, 13 degrees colder than average, as we only got to minus 8. Should see partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Out ahead of this system that's going to bring some snow through the course of the day tomorrow to the Peace Country, there's your kick of warm air. It'll probably only extend to about Highway 16, and further north, you're going to see some snow to go along with some cooler temperatures. As the cold front goes through behind that system, Saturday morning could see some flurries or some light snow in the Edmonton area. Possibility for a couple centimeters here in northeastern Alberta and back further to the west. And there's the return of some cooler air for the weekend. So let's show you how this plays out on Thermalcast. There's your warm air stretching all the way up to about Edmonton, and then dropping back to the south Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. In fact, Monday could see a couple centimeters worth of snow. Get to that in a second. Into the minus 20s tomorrow morning. Fort McMurray, Cold Lake, minus 26 in high level. Will be about minus 12 in Edmonton tomorrow morning. Minus 6 in Fort McMurray. Minus 8 for Grand Prairie, Peace River with that chance of snow. 7 in Edson. Get to about 6 or 7 degrees as well. In Red Deer, Jasper, about minus 3 for Lloydminster here in Edmonton. 2, maybe 3 degrees above zero. Light wind and partly cloudy skies. Chance of flurries or some light snow Saturday morning. Back to minus 3. Late Sunday into Monday. Some more snow in the forecast. Highs of about minus 2. Could see a couple centimeters of snow there on Monday. By Tuesday, Wednesday, we're back steadily above zero, but only by a degree or two. I still think it's right around the Easter weekend that consistently we'll see temperatures return to around average. That is your forecast.
This year's version of the Edmonton Home and Garden Show just rolled out the welcome mat. The Home and Garden Show opened this morning. It features more than 400 vendors and takes up 5 halls of the Edmonton Expo Centre. It includes head-to-head landscape competitions, the chance to learn pickleball from a pro, and the big draw, longtime TV renovation hosts Brian and Sarah Baumler.
Edmonton loves Brian, and to have Sarah accompany him as well. It's been a while since she's been here, so to be able to see the couple in person together is so exciting, and they love to just see that banter that they have together.
This year's Home and Garden Show runs until Sunday night. And that does it for this edition of CTV News. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.